uncomfortable when we talk about this. And they'd rather be somewhere else or do something else, think about something else, or it's not around me, it's not by me, it didn't happen to my family, or things happen, or that's just the way it is, or my voice doesn't mean anything. But a lot of times too, people just get uncomfortable and they get worried, they get concerned, they don't like it. But we need to push that discomfort. We need to talk to our brothers and sisters, to our friends, and say that your discomfort does not take priority over people's lives. You don't want to talk about it right now. We need to do something about it. We need to actively fight against this. And we can't hide behind our walls, behind our cover, because you know if they went for Michael Brown, they'll come for all of us too. They'll come for us, our brothers, our sisters, our kids. We've got to fight together. Talk to your friends. Make posts. Be active. Be loud. Be vocal. I don't care what people say. Hashtag activism does work. Speaking out does work. We need to talk to one another. Get people out of their discomfort. Make them focus on what really matters.
Yes.
That's the only reason we're here is because they were because they got angry. It's not because they went back in their houses like we always do. They went out and they got angry, and the cops were afraid, and then things went down, and that's why we're still here. So again, if you care more about a quickie mart than about a dead man like Michael Brown, then I question your priorities.
It is not illegal to film the police. That is a constructive thing we can be doing to stop this, particularly white people. We are not subject to the same abuse from the cops that minorities are. We need to use that underprivilege that we have and hold these people accountable. That's right. That's all I wanted to say.
I don't like calling you white. I recognize that this does not acknowledge your cultural and ethnic heritage, just as it doesn't when I say brown or black people. This is one way in which the construct of race hurts all of us. However, given that the construct of race exists and has existed for quite a while now, and given that it has been used to justify slavery, mass rape, murder, and genocide of countless people, and given that we still benefit from the color of our skin, it is absolutely relevant. So I have some questions for you. Are you afraid to speak out against racism? Are you afraid that your white friends will become angry with you or defriend you? Why? Can you imagine what it must feel like for the brown and black people of this country and beyond to try to have these conversations with white people? Can you imagine how many of them are too afraid to even begin having these conversations with white people? Can you feel their anger, their sadness, their rage, their fear? Can you imagine being murdered or more likely to be put through the trauma of prison because of the color of your skin? Why do you not share in that fear?
When I watched Eric Garner die on YouTube, when I watched someone choke him from behind and kill him as he pled for breath and couldn't breathe, that's not an America that I have to face because I'm white. And that's an America that other people do have to face. And that's terrible. And so I know that you're talking about police brutality, and it does affect everybody, but it doesn't affect us all equally. It affects people who are brown and people who are black in a much more horrific way.
It shouldn't make me feel hopeless and desperate to just try to get my kid to 18 and to put him through school and to tell him he can be somebody. He could be the president of the United States and still be talked about like he's a terrorist. It shouldn't take that. I shouldn't have to tell him he has to be more than his white counterparts just so he could maybe have a chance at the things that they do. So I'm just saying, use your voice. That's all it takes. Write a post on Facebook. Tweet. Write a blog post. Talk to your friends. Stay woke. Just stay woke.
I don't know if you all watched President Obama's press conference today. I like all of you, have been horrified at the kind of racism that has been unleashed at President Obama, but a man who gives a blank check to Israel to drop bombs on Palestinians has no business telling people in Ferguson, Missouri not to riot.
That's right.
No business telling people to stay calm. No business at all. And President Obama has suffered racism. President Obama has suffered through much of it. We've all witnessed and seen it happen. But hectoring the people in Ferguson, standing up for their rights against a racist police force, while at the same time funding the Israeli military's systematic campaign of genocide against the Palestinians, this president has no business lecturing anybody about how to behave, what kind of ethics, what kind of morality they should have. He is perpetrating violence every single day.
That's right.
Look, when I was a kid, I used to be ashamed of my skin color because I had all these people telling me that you are a nigger, that you are slow, that you are dumb, that you will never be nothing. All right, that's what I was told when I was a kid. When I got into high school, I joined a gang. And we all do stupid stuff at some point or another. I still have some of the, pictures on my Facebook, and everything. But, that's not who I am. It was a part in my life where I was doing something stupid, trying to be a part of something that I knew I could never be a part of. And now it pains me every morning that I have to wake up thinking that, there's still racism in the world. What's going to happen today? And it's crazy. And I like what she said. It pains me so much that I have to think about having children in this world and that my children will have to face this reality one day. It really pains me. And it really pains me that they could possibly go through the same thing. My 18-year-old son might be one day gunned down. No reason, just for no other reason but for being black. It's ridiculous. One of my favorite poets said it best. He said to him, he feels like freedom is nothing more than a carrot dangling out of the reach of horses to keep them moving without complaints. I don't want to feel like that my freedom is like that. I don't want to feel like that.
I am a 23-year-old black woman, and for 23 of those years, I thought that I was an exception to the rule. I thought I talked well, I am well educated, I grew up in a middle-class family, that I was enough to pass in this country. I watched my father for 30 years fight for this nation, break his back, lose ability to use his lungs for this. And I thought that I was enough because I didn't fit the narrative. But I'm not enough. I will never be enough in this country. And it breaks my heart. I didn't know I was going to cry, but it breaks my heart to know. Well, no matter the changes that I make, the way that I talk, how many books that I read, how many philosophers and poets that I can quote, I am not enough in this country.
It doesn't matter what picture they show of you. It doesn't matter if you're not enough, because you deserve to live anyways. You don't have to be enough. You don't have to be at the top of your class. You don't have to graduate from high school. You have to be a human and treat other humans with the basic human decency, and that's when you deserve to live.
We are all the same. We are Palestinians, and forgive my language, but we are the niggers of the U.S. All of us. So let's not fight each other. I know that the young lady was very upset when someone said, it's all of our lives. He was speaking truth, right? Because if they come for me in the nighttime, and once they're done with me, guess who they're coming for in the morning? So when all of your luck runs out, you can't trade on being male, you can't trade being well educated. I'm also consider myself that a little bit. I also consider myself needing to learn a lot from my elders and from the people who came before me. When I can't trade on that currency anymore, guess who's coming for me? That's why we need to stand together, and that's why we are all the same.